Hello Tech Genius, I am Ravi. Have you ever imagined a place where learning is as dynamic as the technology shaping your world? Then here's a deal. With iMatix, you can make sure the learning is exciting, impactful right from the beginning. You have interactive sessions with expert-led courses. In the world of tech, from data science to cloud computing, it's not just about a session, it's about doing, building, learning by solving real problems. So let's get started. Today we'll start with the revenue chapters and the configurations. In order to start with revenue chapter, we need some configurations, like we need to set up a customer. And Avashi, this is for you. As an end user, you have to set up your customers, you have to set up your payment terms, customer categories, and customer groups. That's what we are going to cover as an end user. And that's also what you do as an implementer when you do bulk uploading of data. You use EIBs and iLoad to upload this data in bulk during your implementation cycle. And we'll see through the UI how we do it as an end user also. To start with, we have to create a customer category. You have to type customer category here. You have to go to tab called Maintain Customer Categories. And you will give a name here. Let's say blanket. Special customers. We'll just name it like the category of the customer. It can be like IT, manufacturing, service industries, whatever it is. Then after this, you have to do a group also. Maintain customers. Like grouping of customers. You can group certain customers under one head, like it is from Northeast region, Southwest India, APSC. Like you can group them, we'll just say in global customers. But you are not using the same customer to group it. This same customer will come under the global. No, you can add multiple. No, just now you added one customer. You added one customer, right? No, I have not added a customer. It's a customer group. Earlier, what did you do before this customer group? That was a customer category. Customer category. Customer categories and customer groups are two different things. What is the difference between category and groups? Easy. Let me explain to Excel sheet only. That way you understand. It's like Raho. It's basically like a set ID and business unit, right? A kind of yes. Let me say we have customer, customer. Custom, custom, customer. Now they belong to the same category. Let's say ID. They are our customers from the ID. Their category is, that means of course. Their category is. Clear it tool here. Got. Now let's talk about group. We have regions. I'm giving an example. It can be anything. Depends on the business. America. say Asia, like this. Now I can group all these customers. Under the regions here, got custom CD. They are all grouped under APAC region. Then I have another pair of customers, set of customers who belong to EMEA region. Let's see EH. You only created category and the regions. Now we are going to create a customer, right? Customer will come later on. Got that looks for sure. I understand. Anyone else? Any doubt on this one? Let's close it then. Now we have to create payment terms. Now remember, payment terms is something which can be used by both suppliers also and customers. You don't create separate payment terms for supplier and separate payment terms for customers. It's a common one. We'll go to the task on maintain payment terms. Payment term is nothing but in how many days either the customer will pay or you will pay back to the supplier. Simple thing. We have a few things already configured here. Let's go through them first to explain how it works. For example, and this is a global naming convention we use across different implementations and customers, net1050. What it says is we'll give 10% discount. The due date is 30 days from the invoice date. Whenever we will send the invoice to the customer, from that the customer has to pay within 30 days. When I say add days here, I'm saying 30 days from the invoice date they have to pay. But I'll give them a 10% discount. If they pay within 10 days or 5 days or whatever it is, I can say 5 days here. If they pay within 5 days, I'll give them 10% discount. Let me explain this again. This is my net 30. From the invoice date within 30 days, they have to make the payment. But I'll give them a 10% discount if they make payment within 5 days from the invoice date. Clear on this one? And if you want to make it, then it will be 0. I will not hit here. Just want to show you. If you want to make immediate, for example, let's say somebody would definitely have it's late. Immediately means 0 days. And the moment you pay, send the invoice. The next year they have to make the payment or the same day. If you want to give them a great stage, that's fine. But immediately they have to make the payment. As you can see, transition date. This is a due date simulator here. If the transitions happen today or yesterday, like 25th, the due date will also be 25th only, because we have given 0 days to the customer or the supplier. It can be vice versa supplier also. Some suppliers say no, you have to make the payment next year only. And what is the cutoff? Like it's something like they have to remind or something. It's like a cutoff day from this net 30 or net 20, like 10 days, 5 days, the cutoff date. You get a cutoff list, right? That from this. Overall, this is a cutoff list or cutoff date. Same thing. Nothing unusual here. Very simple process. But to be honest, we do not use this feature, cut off date, because we are gentle with our customers, right? We don't give them we don't push them hard for making the payment. And same with the suppliers also. When we pay them, we negotiate with them, making the payments, like delaying the payments a little bit more. We can have more revenue with us, cash with us. Any questions on this one? Any? Nora. Nora. All clear? Will not hit add here because there's many right now. You can pick any one of them. There's no need to add more data here. Will it cancel now? Now we'll talk about the revenue categories. Rahul, it's not like a general term like the US people use for 30 days. It's not like that, right? No. It's the same net 30 days only. It's not a general. Thank you. Now let's talk about the revenue category. Revenue category is nothing. Category from which you get the revenue. It's by either selling tickets, by selling goods, by selling service to customers. What is the category of that? Let me give an example. A chemical-based company would sell the chemicals to the customers. It can be like hospitality industry, hotels, hospitals, meet anything. They have a category of revenue like home-based chemicals, industry-based chemicals for some different things, different chemicals. It can be household chemicals, meet anything. They have different categories from which they get the revenue, like household sector, which they sell in the market to the retail customers, like people like us, like Harpic and all those things, right? Those are the different chemicals you use in our daily life for household activities. Then there are some industry chemicals which they use to clean the hospitals. Beds and everything, and you rub their hands or the sanitizers. There are different chemicals for hospitality industry, like it's clean there, hotels, receptions, whatever. It is clear with this. A category from which you get the revenue is called a revenue category. Any questions on revenue category? I'll show you how to create it, but any questions on understanding what is the revenue category? Understood. Now how to create a revenue category. First, we'll create the revenue category by typing revenue category here. Then the task called create a revenue category. Then we'll give it a name. Name would be for Blinkit. What will be? By selling goods, right? We'll say Blinkit driven groceries, right? Blinkit groceries. We'll create groceries here. If any text applies, like 5 cent, 10%, like this, we can mention it here, or like say it applies VAT, GST. We can do that also. For now, we'll not select anything, but some companies do use VAT here, GST here, which we can define. The next thing is spend category mapping. This will be for your intercompany transaction, not for your normal customer transactions. Like when you create a customer invoice, you automatically create a supplier invoice also. That was like intercompany. We'll not get into that. Then related work tags. If anything belongs to this revenue category, like one of this work tag, a tag basically which you want to associate with this revenue category, You can mention that also. Otherwise, you hit like if you want to define a cost inter, let's say bit. Anytime I would use this revenue category, this bit will pop up automatically. You will see that incoming examples I need here. Now after this, we'll create the CS item. Rahul, it was showing inactive. Firstly, it's like inactive or we have manually done. Not sure. Not sure the revenue category as inactive. Are you sure? Let's check it out. Let's go ahead. Blink it. Let's hit add it. Where is inactive? I have not clicked on that. Now I got it. No word. But it didn't make it. But I'm not on that. Suppose it's not in any more use, right? You can inactive that revenue category. Now we'll create the CL site. We have different reports, but we'll go to the task called create CL site. Let's say we link it sells everything, clothes, groceries and everything. We'll say coconut or let's say cereals packet. Alternate name mix of cereals. Revenue category. Link. Description of it. It has 5 packets of a description. Sales item identify. How do you identify that? We just CP mix. Something like this. Cereal packet mix. Any grouping you want to do, just like we saw with the customers. If you want to group this under particular sales item like seals or poses like this, you can group them. You can create a sales item group from here. You can select one if there is already one existing, or you can create your own. You can say group A, group B, something like this. We'll come to this part also. Don't worry about this part. When we'll start the customer contract, first we have to create the sales item group, right? Then we have to select. You cannot just enter a group here. That's right. That's what I said. It will always to be selected. No, it doesn't has to be. It is not mandatory. The mandatory values are marked with red district sign here. I'm just showing you, it's like with my experience, I'm telling you what is required and what is not required and what I've seen people using it. Generally, people don't create sales item group. Generally, it's like if you want to go deep into work, then say no, I want to use every feature because I've paid every single penny for it. Yes, you would go in and use every feature, but generally I've not seen people and customers using this sales item. They just create a sales item, attach it with the reminisce category, and that's all. Any questions on this one? unit of measure. How you want to measure it? Like by each, it will be bundle, it will be card, it will be carton cost per mile cubic meter each. Like there are many options to select. Card, select card here box, it will select box here. It will box of 5 CDOs. Now this is little irritable, like it's not, it doesn't add any will the same thing. I'm not sure why I asked this question. To work with, we just have it if you want to give it second unit of measure also, but it's irrelevant. To be honest, it's irrelevant. If we set up like both the unit of measure, why is it like ordering the same first one? It will pick the first one. It's not like the option. It will come. It will come. Can you pick a unit of measure 2 also, but by this it will measure first one. By default it will be box. Now enable quantity pricing that we'll see in coming example we have got to cover in this chapter. For now, let's go with the basics first. Easy things first, and then we'll go into little complicated items here like this one. The right hand side part here that will cover for the customer contracts. How do you want to recognize the revenue for this sales item? There are 3 options here. Invoice accrued deferred. Based on the invoice, you want to recognize the revenue or accrued. It will be accrued or deferred. We'll say invoice here. Accrued and deferred. Example, we'll see the customer contract, which is part of the revenue chapter, only upcoming activities. Currency. What would be the currency in which you are selling this sales item? We'll say USD here. Unit price will say 100 here. Let's say the bundle we are selling at is 100 USD per bundle. Now this VSOE third party evidence estimate selling price will cover that too. But not right now. We'll go with the basics first. Again, if you want to add anything here, let's say any other work tag. And after this, I'll just show you how you can add all this work tag with something like this we are creating right now. I'll show you that part too. Let me just hit for now. And we hit. This is done. Let's create one more sales item. This time, let's say biscuits, pack of biscuits. And let's say Parle-G and other biscuits. But if any category, again we can use our blanket. Description, if you want to add any, let's say packet of different biscuits. Identify Poppy Max. And groupie if you want to do that unit of measure, bundle or box, whatever it is. Currency would be USD. Let's say thou to do fronty. To do it. This is our Chelda. Now I'll show you how we bring these different work tags here with the items here. There are two different tasks. First one, let's go to the first one. Maintain related work tag usage. Let me show you this one first that we are doing right now. This is a task report, but for me it's like a task only. Here we have different options here. Like if you create cost center, you can add different work tags here. The cost center, let me show you one right now. If you see with the cost centers, we have these options right now. Course, sales project, trading center, region, location, salesperson. Let me click on this added work to users. And I can remove, let's say, let me hit course details, training center. Let me remove the salesperson also. Now, once I hit now, there are a few options here. Let's talk about demos. Default required means if I hit on this one, I'll show you what happens. I'll just get the cost center. It's a default required. It's a mandatory value you have to give a project, or it can be location, also required on transition, or there's a help text. If you just bring your cursor here on the checkbox, it will show you what it means. When checked, a default value for the work tag type will be required for every instance with related work tag information. Whenever you will create a cost center, you have to give a region. You cannot say, I will not give a region and move at no transaction. Repeat this line again. When checked, whenever I click on this second checkbox here for this work tag type is project will be required whenever a value of this work type being configured is entered in a transaction. Anytime you do use this in a transaction, this cost center, a value is required. Let's see that part also. Allowed values enabled. Checking this allows value to be defined for configuring related work type for a specific instance. Only allowed values will be there for this project. Let's see what happens. Disallow inactive values. Suppose you have inactivated a cost center or a revenue category or a project. You have inactivated a project. We are talking about this project design first. If you have inactivated a project, that will not appear in the cost center and will go back to create cost center. First of all, let's see if only 3 values are showing up there or not. Create cost center, reorg link it. We'll hit. First of all, as you can see, we have 3 options now. Those other values are gone now because we removed them. Now I've marked this default required. This is graded out. I cannot do anything here. Let's see if I can go ahead without using a value at the region level. Let's say test and code would be 5220. Subtype would be cost usability. Now let me talk about that day I forgot to tell you. In terms of company and other organizations like cost centers, custom organizations, we have this visibility. Everyone means everyone in the system can view this cost center. Regardless of their access or they're from different company, different cost centers, they will still be able to recognize or find this cost center in the system when they will search it in the search bar. Role assignees means only those people to whom I have assigned some roles in this center. Only those people would be able to view this cost center. Role assignees and members means suppose you are part of your employee GMS USA and I've assigned some roles to you also. These two conditions should meet in order to view this company or cost center. Then only you will be able to see this cost center company. Role assignees of current and superiors. What it means is that you hold some roles or security at the GMS USA company level. But you are also there in superior also. The top hierarchy of GMS USA people both would be able to find this company in the system. Clear with these four options here. 99.99% across implementation can check. This would be everyone for all the companies and cost centers. Now let me hit. Let's see if I can go ahead and without selecting a region here, I got an error here. The default work tag is required and must have a window. I need to give a value, let's say in here. Clear with this task. Maintain related work tag uses how you bring different work tags on the configuration you create. Yes, we'll say great. Now that another task, maintain work tag usage, that I'll show you once we start hitting transactions. Let me hit first transaction and then we'll go through how we put different customer invoice work tags here. Right now, you see only cost center is there as the primary work tag. I'll show you when we create customer invoice and then additional work tags are this one. How can we add multiple different columns here and different additional work tag? That I'll show you once we start getting transactions. Let's say now we're done with the revenue category. Now we're done with the series item, the category and group also of the customers. Now it's time to create a customer invoice. But before that we'll see the business process because we would be using the default business process here. Let's say VP customer invoice. There are different BPs here, like for emailing the customer invoice, and different companies their own BPs. We'll look for the default definition because we're not creating one that we'll see in the business process chapter. There's only one which says customer group is required. These are the security groups who can create this. Customer invoices. Let's go ahead and see the task. The task is create customer invoice. Company will use our company link it. And my bad, we just missed one configuration. That is the main thing. We have to credit customer. We have to. That was the main thing. That is your great customer. The customer name, let's say Reliance Hotel, something like this, right? We deliver process to Reliance Hotel, something like this. The status now, the create customer from business entity. This is like if you want to create a customer from a supplier category from financial institutions like your banks. Banks can also be your, NBFC can also be your customers. Investors, tax authorities, they can also be your customers. That's one thing. But again, with my experience, I can tell you they keep it blank. I've never seen, like in my 10 implementations end to end and 8.5 years experience, that somebody uses the straight customer from business entity option. No, they never do it. Status is active, but you have two other options, hold and inactive. Also, for any reason, if you want to keep this customer on hold, you can select the second option here. Hold means you will not be able to use this customer for any transactions. Inactive also means the same thing, that you will not be able to use it in any transaction. Customer category. It's time for us to use it then again with the blanket. Now, this is an important thing. Let me tell you about this one. We can have only one customer getting that Workday functioned, and it's logical. Also, you can use one customer category, but you can use different customer groups here. We can use this one, or I can use this one also. You can use n number of customer groups while creating a customer or after creating the customer also, but you can use only one and only one customer category. Is it clear on this? Payment terms, you can say net 10 days, net 20 days, immediate, whatever it is. You can say immediately also, that we saw there that immediately the customer has to pay us back. Default text code. Default text code, if any text applies to it, like 2%. Whatever we sell to the customer, we charge 10% on it. You go to any restaurant, you go to any malls, food court, you buy anything. The moment you buy, they put GST on it, right? GST value. You are the customer who is paying the GST to the company, and then they deposit that GSST to the government. Correct? Simple example. Right? Any doubt on that thing? No doubt, no doubt. All clear, right? Yes. We will not use any text code, but in your practice you can use it, and in RAND level also, while creating customer invoice, we can use it. Then accept all currencies. What it means that because we accept all the different thing while trading supplier also. You will see this option. People do get confused. What does it mean, accept all currencies? It means that if customer want to pay us back or we want to pay them back in different currencies, let's say the customer is in US only, the default currency is US only. But let's say customer want us to pay like, the customer want us to pay in like euro or INR, in pound, in any other currency, then do we accept that currency as a payment? We say yes, we accept all currencies. Whatever currency they want to make payment in, we are fine with that. It means accept all currencies. Or if you want to pay them back in euro, will he accept it? Yes, accept all currencies. No, if they do dealing in like 5-6 currencies only, let's say USD euro, you can add multiple currencies here, INR, but by default we keep it accept all currencies. Default currency is USD. even though they accept every currency in the world. But the main currency which is related to the transaction is USD. Now, customer security segment. Let me tell you, in every company, whosoever deals in the customers, right? Every company does that. In the revenue team, you will segregate your team members as a control account manager. As an account manager, like one person will handle 5 customers. It happens, right? If you are from the corporate world, you'll have seen that another person or Venkat will handle 10 customers, or Vashi will handle next 5 customers. They define 5 customers each, or 10 customers each, or 20 customers each, depending on the person's bandwidth and experience that we can do here. Customer security segment that Venkat will not be able to use or view. The next 5 customers assigned to Ruvashi or Ruvashi will not be able to view another 10 customers assigned to the. I will show you this in the security chapter in detail, how to create the customer security segment, but not right now. But are you clear with this? Yes, sir. Under customers only, we are defining a more core security that Arvashi will be able to see only 5 customers. Venkat will be able to see only 10 customers because they handle only those 10 customers. Right? We can define that security segment also, and we will cover it under the security chapter. Now we will hit here. We are not restricting it to any companies here because we want to use it for all the companies we have. If you want to keep it like on hold or inactive, just give us. Select a reason from here and a reason description. For example, I hit inactive. What's the reason for inactivating this customer? Then give a reason, but we will use it for our transactions. Now you see 6 items here because maintain related work tag. If you go to the task or report, you will see this 6 work tag there again. Play around with the functionality. Make something mandatory here, make something as allowed work tag types and everything. We will not hit anything here because you have seen the functionality. Credits and collections, now the UNES number. If you Google it, that's a unique number. Dun and Bradstreet number, that's a number given to a customer on their ratings, like how this customer will be for your business, will they? Or in the past, how they have done business with other companies and do they pay on time. This agency DUNS number, right? They give a unique number to all the specific companies which are your customers, and then you put that number here for your reference because you have to pay. Take the membership from them to see how that company would be as a customer, right? Because the chances of getting bad debt, why you would pay for something creating, like why you would do that as a company. It's very important because we are not dealing like 100 rupees or 10,000 rupees or 10,000 lakh, 10 lakh, right, when we are having customers like corporate level. Think on the corporate level, you are dealing like every day with the customers, and every day you are making transitions, maybe millions and billions, whatever it is. You don't want to play around with the customer, or you don't want to deal with the customer who is a defaulter, who is paying his tree is not that good. With other companies may have not have good feedback with it. That's why you will pay an agency to see how they could in paying the other companies. Clear on this one? Any doubt? No. We all give credit to the customer, right? It doesn't happen to our Marwadi local shop also. It happens at the corporate levels also. We give them credit. That will give you credit like 10,000 rupees, 50,000 rupees, 60,000 rupees. And what would be the credit limit? Currency, USD. What will be the limit of credit you can give them? Even like you have good terms relationship, that's an old loyal customer, and you want to give something on 15,000, that's the max credit limit you can give it to them. Credit verification date. When did you verify that we have given 15,000 credit to them? That's it, today's date, and then in best rate number. These are different scores, as you can see, done in bed. You can Google on it, and there are different composite rates, customer satisfaction survey and score and everything. You can feel that you will get a report after paying the amount to this agency, and from that report you can give the details here. Exempt from DON. Let me tell you what is a dunning. Dunning is a kind of warning or legal notice to your customers where they don't pay on the time. First, you send a reminder to all customers just like we get on a credit card. And as the date reaches to our new due date, right, all of you may have experienced it, they start sending more and more messages. You don't pay. Your due date is nearby and you have to pay. Please pay on time to, not to get penalized, not paying on time and all those things. Same thing. Dunning is a kind of process in which you send the letters and warnings or legal notice to the customers. Clear with the dunning part. If I click on this exempt from dunning, it means that I am saying it's a loyal customer. I don't want to send any dunning letter to this customer. Clear any questions on dunning part. What is the score? What will you add in score? Again, that's like a rating score you get from the agency. You have to pay for the report and then you put that score here. Credit score for that party. Yes, it's like a commercial credit compositor score, customer satisfaction score. Other companies give feedback just like our civil score. In civil score, every company, financial institution where we have a counter, we have taken a loan or credit card, they give regular feedback to these agencies and then they create your profile and score civil score. Right, same thing. The customers also clear on this screen here values, here payment terms. Payment term is immediately default payment type, like how the customer will pay us back through cash, to check, to credit card, debit card, direct debit, direct deposit, whatever it is. We'll say check here. By check, the customer will pay us back, default reference type. Now, this is interesting. This is more for your. In India, we have Paytm, correct? Everyone knows Paytm. I hope everyone right. Similarly, in these countries, you see Brazil, Switzerland, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, Belgium, Estonia, Finland, very beautiful country. Estonia, by the way, they have their own payment gateways, which is this sponsor to the companies that you should do the dealing or make the transactions of the payment in this using this tool. Bullet of Bank area is a payment gateway. You can right now Google it and type bullet of bank RU. Every time you make the payment or you receive the customer payment from customer, they will use this form called bullet of bank RU, and that will generate a Paytm whenever you make the payment. That will give you a reference it correct. I hope everyone uses a Paytm right now. Not sure about the people who are in us, but in India, if you're using Paytm, the moment you scan, you pay, you get a payment reference it on your screen. Right, same thing will happen here also. If you select something, then you have to give reference value also. Clear with this one? Clear with this one default reference type. But is it mandatory, Rahul? No, it's not mandatory. Only if you have customers here and it's like mandate by the law, then you have to select this one. That's why I've introduced this value here. I have a question. Supposing you've not defined your default reference type, but somebody still goes and pays by that method, will it accept? No, obviously that's a separate module of Workday through which you receive the payment from customers. We'll talk about that in coming classes. But yes, if you select something here, then you have to give a reference value. All the time you create customer invoice, you have to give a reference value. Otherwise, it will only pay by check, nothing else, right? Right now, the customer pays by through the check, a mandate required again. That same thing if you select direct deposit, right? Obviously, remember when the banks ask you that you want to pay utility bills on time, let me automate this. They ask you to sign a mandate, isn't it? You have to sign a mandate. Same thing, mandate required. Yes, the page got refreshed somehow, but no worries, we have our customer with us. We'll type customer, the shortcut, and blink it. Or Reliance, it was Reliance Hotel. It's an active item because we have not submitted the customer. We were still filling the information. We'll say customer. We have different options here. Array pending customer. And we were at the payment details page here. Always separate payments, what it means. Suppose we have to receive 10 payments from the customers. The customer say, no, I'll send you one single check for those 10 payments and I'm done. No boss, we need separate payments, separate checks for all the transaction because it helps in reconciliation in system. You would show, if we show 10 invoices, the customer made one payment only. Now where you will club it, they can make hundreds of invoices for that customer also, right? In order to do a better reconciliation, we'll always click on this, always separate payments. Clear on this? Yes, great. We'll add this settlement bank account. This is the customer bank account, not our bank account. This is not our bank account. I'll show you to create how to create our bank account because that we'll need while creating the customer payments and deposits. This is the customer banking. Why we need a customer banking? Because we can do a direct debit also. In order to do a direct debit, we need to see what is the bank account correct of the customer. Only in that account you will do that debit, right? That's why we'll say account here and we'll say Reliance current account. Now again remember this is the customer account we are creating or we're adding the details. Checking means current in us. Checking means current account. Country is also, or let's say India because it's easy to remember the F code of Indian banks. If say skip to 4 times 0435. Bank team safety limited big code. Now that's printed on the checkbook of every bank or you can Google the big codes. Account numbers. Let's put some dummy account number here. Name on account as DFSA. Name on account as DFSA. Oh sorry, it will be Reliance Hotels Limited. That's the customer name. Bank instruction: this bank does not process payments on weekend. The address if you want to add any request. Prenot. Prenot is a two-way method. Security payments: the bank sends in up and all those things. Remember that part. This is just banks and you know TP to process the payment. Same thing requires Prenot to check if your payment can be processed. This would be clicked on. And remember, this is when you submit a high dollar or a high value check to the bank that you know I am making payment to someone through this check account. Then bank also that we have received this check. Have you submitted this check yourself and I show you want to process this payment? Has anyone experienced that we have to do that? If not, that's a mandatory thing now print out by Arabi. And this is like customer credit card profile. We can add the customer credit card details here. And I'm going to lockbox details. Lockbox is nothing where we deposit checks. In every bank, in every ATM machine, these days you find the machine to deposit the check, correct? Same thing, in us it's called lockbox. In India, we just go to a machine and deposit the checks. But clear to here? Any doubts? No, I think default text code applies. Let's say 4% applies every time I use this customer, then that 4% will appear on the transaction itself. Then tax it, because this is a customer, they would have tax it also because you have to deposit the just collected from this customer to the government. Then you have to say this is the customer tax, it against which you have received this tax amount and that we want to deposit. We'll say USA and employer ID number and just add any tax it, and this is just the primary tax it. Also, if you want to add some notes, this is our loyal customer, this is our loyal customer, this is our loyal customer, and next meeting with them on urgent. And then you can put a follow update also. Or if they're not processing the payments, you can say next follow update is 5th of December or 5th of January, 5th of Feb, like this. This is just a note adding more information about the customer attachment. If you have signed some documentation or agreement, you can upload that attachment here. Contact information, that's very important. Let's add their address here, USA 15th Cross, 10th Avenue, City, New York, State, New York. Postal code under 41, any count. You can add their unit. This is a primary address that would be used for billing and e-metal shipping and mailing. Also, other businesses also. Street address also. Program it to also. And there is an error. I will fix it, don't worry. It's most only about the, I believe it's about text. Postal code only read. Only attribute is allowed. Something is there which we have added. I'm not sure what we'll see. Email, let's say reliance@gmail.com. This is their primary email address. Billing and emittal shipping will be used for terminal. Also, although not required to program, is for supplier and instant messenger IDs. They have any web address, website address they have, we can add that too. Now what else? We'll see what error. They're talking to connection map. We'll talk about this tomorrow, because right now let's talk about the basic things. Assigned roles. You can assign, like, collection manager to teacher a new. And now let me submit and come to know what's wrong here. Now let me submit and come to know what's. This is done. Our customer is active now. This is the customer rate. These are all the details, and we are good to start with the transactions tomorrow. Customer aid is created by the Workday itself. Right anytime, that's right. That's right. Right here, thank you. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.